Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's that time again, folks. Time for the world famous motion picture Retribution Power Hour, presented to you by the illustrious Evening Brothers. Take it away, band.
Mine started, I clicked on a thing later and then it started about, it's fine. It's fine. I'm editing these, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be fine.
Mine is also like a second late too. So
Good. This is going to be a
Guys,
nightmare.
I was on time.
Hell yeah, Preston. Welcome to the motion picture. Preston, I'm so proud of you, Preston. I'm sorry. Hey, I'm sorry. I'm proud of you, Preston. I'm so proud of you. I'll always be proud of you.
live in this moment as long as you can, Preston. Live in it.
Mostly, I just really wanted to interrupt your intro, but, you know.
Preston, you're so good at podcasts. I think about that
Okay.
in my day-to-day.
Yeah. I actually write that on
right.
a chalkboard in front of my students every day. Preston is good at podcasts.
Preston
You do not. There is no way that you do.
Good at podcasts.
For the amount of frustration that I have caused you, there is no way that you write
You
that.
know what?
Well, and also Lincoln doesn't want anyone to know he's in this podcast.
No, I don't want anyone to know. This is a fireable offense right here.
Welcome to the motion picture Retribution. Remind me later to tell you guys that I think I lost an art job to this podcast.
Oh no.
Welcome to the motion. I'll tell you later. To the motion picture Retribution.
You can't
Power
say that
Hour.
now and then not tell the story.
I can. Welcome to the motion picture.
I will be sitting on the edge of my seat for the next hour and change.
Well, good, because that means you'll be actually on the podcast. Welcome to the motion picture Retribution Power Hour. I am Brother John.
I am Brother Lincoln.
And I'm Brother Preston.
He's pouting. He's mad.
See, that response time was on time. It was perfect.
Guys, I am very tired. I am very tired.
Well, I made you guys watch Die Another Day, which I knew was bad. I did. I was aware of that. I had seen it several years ago, and I remember logging it in my mind as like, oh, that's the one we don't watch again. So that seemed perfect to include in this.
It is.
I did not remember how bad it was.
It is. Oh, I think the movie, I'm sure we're going to get into this. The movie has a stroke, like maybe an hour in, and just everything after, there's a point, which we will talk about, but there is a point, and after that point, the movie just makes no more sense. There is no more logic or reason to anything at all.
It's just done making sense. Yeah, completely.
How do we do this fucking podcast?
Preston, did you... Oh, wait, no, there's something we haven't said. There's something we haven't mentioned.
Oh, yeah. Do you want to mention it, Preston? Go ahead. as I bring up the next hour.
So as ordinarily, when you have a podcast about movies, ideally every member of said podcast would have watched said movie in its entirety.
That is the goal.
To be able to talk about it.
Yes.
Which is the whole premise behind the illustrious motion picture Retribution Power Hour. Unfortunately, a certain member of this trio, we will not be naming any names.
Yeah, fuck you, Lincoln.
Did not watch the movie in its entirety. So we'll make it into a game for the audience because that seems fun. Figure out which one of us has not seen the movie.
Wow.
It's going to be a really extremely easy game.
If you want to tell who didn't watch the movie, look at who is like trying to absentmindedly whistle as he walks by.
Hey, Lincoln, this is an auditory podcast. There's no visual element
I mentioned
to this.
whistling.
Also, that's my job, to bring a visual element.
Oh, I am so sorry to step on your turf, Preston.
How dare you? You know, Lincoln, there are a select few things that I enjoy about this podcast, and that is one of those bits that I really enjoy.
A select few? Wait,
there's
Preston,
only two
there's
of us
a
on this
select
podcast. And there's only a select few that you enjoy. Which one of us?
Who do you not enjoy? Preston, who do you not enjoy talking about movies with?
No, that's not at all
Preston,
what I...
You could tell me if it's me. Actually, legally, you have to... Two things, two questions. Question one, are you a cop? Question two, do you hate doing this podcast with me specifically?
That's not at all what I said.
That sounds like yes. All right, so Die Another Day starts in North Korea with a tactical surf montage.
Oh, yeah, tactical surfing.
Everyone, this is such a unique film because we've done a lot of movies recently that are like There's just about enough movie in there's too much movie in this movie. There's way too much movie in this movie.
Because this is the start.
Each of my notes is a thing I want to talk about.
Okay.
Like,
yeah.
All of them are things I want to talk about. So I'm just going to kind of blaze through them, and then we'll get into bringing some specific topics up.
So movie number 1 begins.
Movie number 1 begins with the surf montage. Bond intercepts a diamond transport, puts C4 in the case because that's, I guess, what you do. We are introduced to one of 2 villains after that, Zhao. He's punching a guy in a bag. And this is the first hint that this is just the prototype for the Fast and Furious movies. This is the thing I want to talk about probably a lot. But there is so much crossover between this and the last 2 or 3 Fast and Furious movies. We're introduced to Zhao.
I hate how accurate that is.
I know. Also, fun fact about John, I don't think I'm racist. I'm like 98% sure I'm not racist. However, I don't totally know who the second villain is. Like, I'm not sure who he is.
Like
still.
whether I don't know if they ever name him.
Do they not? Okay,
Maybe
that's
they do.
good. Is he the?
But
Is he
he's the guy with the diamonds in his face.
Is he the general's? No. That's Zhao.
Oh, that's Zhao. No, the general's son is the
Zhao.
other guy.
Did we meet the general's son before this?
The general's son is the guy who was punching the bag, I think.
General's, yeah.
That's not Zhao? All right,
No.
so maybe.
No.
So maybe you
bad
are a little
news.
racist.
Maybe I am a little racist.
Zhao is Diamond Face,
Yeah.
who's just his henchman. General's son is just sort of there, and then he falls off a cliff on a hovercraft.
Yes. And then he's never appears again in the movie.
And then that's the last we see of him. Preston, I'm so glad you saw this part because I did want to ask you real quick. Is airboat car a thing?
Hey, spoilers for who didn't watch the entire movie.
I said I'm glad you saw this part. That's all. Lincoln, I'm glad you saw this part too.
Oh, I see.
I'm glad I saw this part.
Yes,
That's
yes.
not true. That's a lie. I wish I hadn't. Preston, is hover car, airboat car, is that something? Does that exist?
Are they
What?
Yes, they're real.
The-
Hoverboats are real.
Yeah.
Hovercraft are real.
No. Cars, though, like on the ground. I know airboats are things. Is it real that it's a car? Because they make a whole thing of it.
No, hovercrafts can drive on land
That's
or
like
water.
the whole point.
That's the whole deal in the movie.
No, I know it's
they
Preston-
hover over and
Preston,
they don't
I
turn
know
any of
it's-
the landmines.
I know it's the deal in the movie, but it's a fucking Bond movie. Cars don't turn invisible, Preston. I don't know if you got there or if Lincoln got there or if I got there, but cars don't actually turn invisible. Okay, so
Right.
this is just...
I don't know what you're asking here.
I'm asking, is the hovercraft a real thing? Is that a thing that exists?
Yes, that
That's
is
what
a
we're
real
trying
thing.
to tell you. It's
That's
real.
great news. That's all I wanted to know. Bond's car cover is blown because of a call from a mysterious source. Who knows who it is? I don't. Legitimately, I don't.
I don't either.
Hovercraft. The hovercraft. There's a hovercraft chase.
No, wait. I
think
know.
it's pretty fun.
I do know why. Because he takes a photo of him with his Nokia 4300 or whatever, and then it scans his face, and then it returns back his like driver's license from MI6. Which I don't know if we're gonna get to pointing this out later, but I'm just gonna say it right now. Why does the MI6 database have photos of their secret agents in it that they could access?
That's a very good question.
Like here is James Bond.
That's an
Product
extremely good
placement.
question.
Here's his height. Here's his
Product placement for Nokia.
Thank you. I'm glad. I was really worried that was just gonna disappear into the void forever.
No, I heard. It's important. What are we doing?
Anyways, that's why he's betrayed.
Hovercraft chase. He's betrayed. There's a hovercraft chase. I think it's pretty fun. We'll probably talk about that one. Bond is captured and waterboarded into the song equivalent of being waterboarded, which I think is
Yes.
extremely fun.
And the most disorienting James Bond song you have ever heard begins to play.
It really
So
is.
bad.
It is
So bad.
easily the worst Bond song. It's not even close. Also, probably the worst intro, like just in terms of visual.
Like
It's
really, really cheap looking the whole time.
very cheap. And this is where movie, I would say 1.5 is, where it's like there's a quarter of a movie in here where they're trying to be dark and like,
Oh, yeah,
maybe
yeah.
Bond's gonna die in this one. Maybe this is like an important moment where of course it's not. But like the thing to me is this intro is to a completely different movie with the song of an entirely separate other different movie, where it's like the idea of Bond being captured, waterboarded, like tortured into an intro of him being tortured, that should have a solemn, dark, Billie Eilish-y, No Time to Die kind of song. That's what that should be. And instead it's just
another
like
day. Like, and meanwhile, left justified Helvetica credits. Like standard turned on Windows Movie Maker 2004 version or whatever edition they had when they made it, and they were like, text, enter. There's ice women dancing, fire women dancing.
Ice women, fire women, there's all kinds of women. Which is actually true of this movie too.
All kinds of women.
14 months later, we think Bond is up for a firing squad, but he's actually a hostage trade for Zhao, but he's glittery this time.
Because he got diamonds exploded in his all cool face. I gotta say, Pierce Brosnan, with a full beard and shoulder-length hair, is a look. I was like, holy beans, why would he ever cut his hair? This is amazing.
Holy beans.
You look so good, Pierce.
If they ever he should have been in Passion of the Christ. That's all I'm saying. He should have been
instead of Mel Gibson.
I don't know about
he should have been Jesus instead of Mel Gibson.
Perfect. Bond is put under for a health check. M greets him, questions him, takes away his 00 status,
Judi
yada,
Dench.
classic Bond stuff. Huh?
It's Judi Dench.
It's Judi Dench again, yeah.
And she kills it.
Is this the first movie she appears in?
No, so she's M for Brosnan and Craig, just the whole time, all the way through.
That's so cool.
Well, not all the way through. Spoilers for some of the
Not
Craig
all
ones.
The way through.
She's great. I love the idea of like Bond as this sort of revolving door of good and bad actors, and I like that just for her they were like, nah, but you stay though.
No,
we'll keep you.
Because for every other
like,
character
it's extremely
in this movie,
confusing.
their own acting skill has nothing to do with whether or not they reappear in the future movies or this movie.
Or this movie, it doesn't matter. None of it matters.
He goes to the Chinese hotel. He's got John Wick hotel credit.
Well, there's one thing we haven't. Before we get to that, there's one thing. The way that he gets out of his interrogation,
he
his
wills himself into cardiac arrest.
He just kills himself, and then he brings himself back, and it's just a wonderful little thing. And then he swims to Hong Kong, where he does get a hotel room. He meets Mr. Chang, the hotel owner. He absolutely, you're right, Lincoln, has some John Wick credit somewhere in there. He finds out that he has to go to Cuba. He goes to Cuba, learns Zhao is on an island with a lab looking into gene therapy. My first true qualm with this movie, that's not true, all of it's a qualm, but one of my major qualms, Bond goes to a bar and he says he orders a mojito. James Bond
Please give me my
orders
mojito.
the only thing worse than that is if he had gone like, can I get a hurricane? Do you think I could get a strawberry daiquiri, please? Like, James Bond is known for having the worst taste in alcohol ever because he gets this weird dog shit Vesper drink that tastes terrible if you've ever tried it. It's horrible. But that's important to me that he just wants like strong, weird alcohol, and he goes up there and he gets a mojito. He swishes it around at one point later, and he's like, mojito. I hate it. I hate it so much. It makes me angry. We are introduced to Jinx, a character with so much other shit going on that she contributes nothing to this film. Bond flirts like a serial killer. He sleeps with her. He knocks out a guy. I gotta power through this. We're burning time here. He fights Zhao in the lab. He goes back to London, learns about Gustav Graves, just a guy who's important for some reason. There's the fencing scene, which we 100% will talk about.
Yes,
I guarantee that. He gets a key, and that key leads him to a debrief with M, which I am 100% confident is just a scene that was put in after test audiences were dumb and couldn't figure out the movie. So then they're just like, okay, we're going to do a little scene saying what's already happened, and then we'll move on. We'll catch up, and then we'll move on.
Actually, I really appreciated that because I was kind of checked out, and then I needed that scene to like bring me back up to speed to where the movie was.
Maybe that's what it was, is they were just like, we know this is kind of bad. Let's do a scene to try to get people back on board.
So yeah, he gets told about Graves. He does the sword
Yeah.
fight. And then movie number 3 begins.
Which the VR training, is that, and then the gearing up, is that sort of where movie 3
I
starts
think
for you?
Gearing up is the transition point, and Ice Palace is the movie number 3.
He does go to Ice Palace, where he orders a martini with extra ice. Can you fucking imagine being such a horrible, horrible man to order a martini on the rocks? And then he gets it, by the way, no ice.
He's like, oh
Which
my gosh,
I
this martini is way too strong for me. I gotta work tonight.
I gotta water this bitch down. He has got to go down.
It's kind of funny that he didn't just go like, oh my god, somebody stop me. I'm just gonna throw
Somebody's
this
gotta
martini
cut me
out
off.
if no one stops me. Oh my gosh, I cannot have martinis. Hey, just so you know, that wasn't a homophobic joke. It was a sexist joke though, because he was a woman. He wasn't gay in the
Okay.
context. He was female.
That's good. That's important. That's an important thing to note. Thanks, Lincoln. Let's see. Oh, this is where I realized that I don't think I've ever liked Halle Berry as an actor. Like, ever. This is a fun realization moment for me.
This makes you question everything else you've ever seen of Halle Berry, doesn't it? Doesn't it?
I just don't. Maybe she was
You know
never
what's
good.
really funny is I saw that actress and I thought, I'm pretty sure that's Halle Berry.
So wait,
Anyways,
you just saw
for me.
like literally
I don't
the
know where I was
most
going with that.
beautiful human that existed in 2002, and you're like, oh, this might be Halle Berry. This might
It could be Halle
What do
Berry.
you want from me,
it
Lincoln?
might be some other
do you
just
want from me?
stunningly perfect looking person. Like, I don't know.
I mean, the haircut's a little rough.
The haircut's a little rough. Were you like, oh,
For my
maybe Zoe
taste.
Kravitz a lot older than I thought she was?
Maybe Zoe Kravitz just doesn't age. Maybe Zoe Kravitz is immortal.
Is immortal,
That's
and this is her
possible.
too.
That actually
Okay.
would kind of make... Anyway, we learned that Gustav Graves is related to Zhao. We don't know exactly why, but they're doing gene therapy to replace faces. I think you can figure it out.
You can guess.
He unveils Icarus. Graves unveils Icarus at the Ice Palace, a satellite acting as a second sun that definitely could never, ever be a big space laser.
Don't worry, guys. It's not a laser.
Zhao...
I actually
It's not a
thought
laser.
in my
No,
notes I have yes space laser written right there.
It's not a laser. It'll never be a laser. It's completely safe. Second sun. It'll cure hunger, world hunger. It's going to be fine. Zhao captures Jinx. Bond swims under a frozen lake to a bubble habitat. There's the worst laser fight ever
Yep,
put
pretty
to
much.
film. A henchman
laser
gets a
fight.
laser through the head at the end of that.
That's
Don't
kinda
mind
cool.
that.
That's kind of cool.
That was fun. Bond confronts Gray. Oh, this is also a fun moment because my notes start getting a little bit more experimental, a little bit more personal because Bond confronts Graves, and then that one lady Bond slept with is bad with 4 A's.
Yeah, she's bad.
In my notes.
She's bad.
She's bad.
Did not see that one coming.
Bond
at
gets
all.
away. Never saw it coming. She seems so nice and good.
What did
Bond
you
gets
did
away,
you see it
and then my
coming?
next
Preston?
note is
I did not.
Yeah, me neither.
yeah, yeah. Who would? That's totally confusing. I'm so excited. Actually, Preston.
I actually did get to that
Okay,
point.
okay.
Barely. Just barely.
Okay, good. Did you get to the point where my next note? Oh no, it is a big space laser.
You know what's really funny? Ironically, somehow, in watching some portion of this movie, potentially all of it, potentially not all of it.
Maybe all of it, maybe
I
none of it.
Did not realize
missed-
that there was any sort of a space laser involved.
You
in
missed
this
the space laser.
You missed the space laser.
Interesting, because you definitely told us that you had seen the bit before where it was clear that this was, in fact, going to be a space laser. So,
Well, there's also a good chance that some skipping around might have also potentially happened.
I see. Well, then I can't ask you about the ice climbing, but I can mention the scene, what I'm calling Surf's Up 3, the sequel to Surf's Up 2.
Yep.
Which
the
we're
full
100%
title?
going to touch on. There's an that's a separate note. Ice car chase with an invisible and now visible car. This is where I figured out that it's a prototype Fast and Furious movie. There's a bit, and this is just important to me, there's a bit where Bond hits the roof and then the ejector seat to flip the car back over.
And that was kind of cool.
You wanted to eject? It was kind of cool. But my question is, if you wanted to eject the seat and you forgot to hit the roof button,
what would you do?
Would you just crash into the roof?
Would you just die?
That seems like a flaw in the design. Like, we can make cars invisible, but we can't make an auto open the roof when you hit the ejector seat. Jinx is there. Bond kills Zhao with a chandelier. Bond revives Jinx with warm water and touching her boobs. Bond and Jinx go to North Korea for some reason.
Which actually movie number 1 picks back up right there.
Movie number 1 is like, oh, hey, guys, it's me. Do you remember me? And I said, no,
it's me.
I don't.
I'm the best of the 4 movies of this movie. Aren't you glad I'm back?
I'm certainly one of the 4 movies of this movie. Bond and Jinx infiltrate a plane on the way, which is fun. Graves has, and this is, Preston, this is the part that and Lincoln, potentially, and maybe me, I'm a little bit sad that one of us didn't get to see Graves' just shitty armor from the end of The Predator that he wore.
Oh, no, don't you worry. I'm sure that the person who didn't see the rest of the movie, through the amazingness of modern technology, is getting to view that portion of the movie right about this second. I would hope.
What a world! What a world!
I wonder which one of us it is.
That one of the 3.
I sure do.
One of the 3.
That one of the 3 will be able to see some Ghostbusters-ass electricity effects.
I hope I'm the one who gets to experience this.
I hope I'm the one who didn't see it.
I wish I was the one who didn't see it.
The plane crashes. Bond and Graves fight. Also, Jinx is still here. Bond kills Graves. He and Jinx escape the plane. Moneypenny is really horny with the VR for some reason at the end. Bond and Jinx have extremely sharp diamond sex, and that is our film. That's the movie. We've wrapped it up.
Yeah, the only thing I'd say is, in that scene, they are not having sex. They are both clothed.
Yes, but they're gonsta. They're gonsta.
They're gonna have extremely sharp diamond sex.
They're preparing themselves for extremely sharp diamond sex.
That is a movie, and before we talk more about it, this is one where one of you not having seen this whole movie will really be perhaps a disadvantage in this game. But I have a
Don't say.
I have a little game for you for Find Your Funny, and I decided.
Okay, Preston,
to call
you have to close the movie, and also I have to close the movie.
Or maybe
Both
I
of us
have
who
to
are
close the movie.
definitely. Or Lincoln has to close the movie. We're all watching it separately on our own iPads, and we gotta close the movie now.
Okay, everyone close it. Okay. This is a little game that I like to call William Shakespeare's.
Okay.
And it's William Shakespeare
This
combined
is
with
almost as bad as John's
Pierce
puns
Brosnan.
for the title of these games.
I'm so glad that I paved the way like John the Baptist did for Jesus. I paved the way for us to do these terrible, terrible games.
Yeah. John the, I don't know, mild annoyance paved a way in the desert for me. And I'm walking out as the one who shall liberate us all and bring green to Arrakis.
Oh,
wait!
Oops.
Did you ever realize
Oops, we're
that
talking
Dune is
about Dune again.
Jesus?
I don't think that doesn't make any sense. Dune couldn't possibly
never
be
mind.
a religious metaphor.
No, you're right. Basically,
There's no
game William
allegorical
Shakespeare's-
elements to Dune.
William Shakespeare.
Guys, do you want to talk about Dune for the rest of this movie?
William
This podcast is about Dune now.
Shakespeare's
Lincoln always wants to talk about Dune. I'm
John-
I know,
surprised
he's-
that he's forging ahead with his game and
I-
not talking about Dune
He's
right
He's
now.
fighting me on Dune Talk.
I'm kind of concerned,
you-
actually. Lincoln, are you
If
okay?
John asked me one
He's
more
fighting
time,
me on
Lincoln, you can
Dune.
tell us.
if he asks me
Dune,
one more
the
time,
second
I
sequel
will
to
literally
Dune.
shift this podcast back to Dune. I will do it.
All right, talk
I
about
we
William
can't.
Shakespeare's.
William Shakespeare's.
It is
Basically, what
it's
we're
fun,
gonna
it's a
do
fun pun.
is I'm going to read out a pun or a sequence of puns in dialogue, and you have to tell me whether or not it is written by William Shakespeare or if it's from Die Another Day.
Ooh, how fun!
And you can't work together on this one. You have to work individually. So you need to both think your answers and then say them at the same time.
That's smart. Wait, well, we can't say them at the same time, but we can just say that we're not gonna
Yeah,
copy.
don't change it. If you know
Because
it.
the
Okay.
word soup that we'll be creating, if we do that, it's just going to be
Yeah, never
untenable.
mind. It's not like we're going to be synced up anyway, so don't worry. Here's your first one.
Yeah, I'm actually not going to edit any of this. The timing's going to be exactly as it is. It's sort of a puzzle you get to put
perfect.
together as a listener.
In your mind. Reassemble it in your mind palace. Okay, here's the first question. Care to place a bet? No thanks. I don't like cockfights. Is that Shakespeare or Pierce? John, what is your answer?
My answer is Pierce Brosnan.
Well,
Well, it's not Pierce Brosnan, I don't think.
What's
but
your answer?
It's in the movie.
My answer is also this movie.
Okay.
Even though I don't think Pierce Brosnan actually says
You're
it.
right. We're just
He doesn't. But
the
Preston
word
needs to answer this first.
Pierce
from here
is gonna
on
be
out.
the like code for this movie. You're both correct.
Hey John, did you ever think that? Hey, maybe I had the an individual thought that was correct as well?
I would
do you
be-
just think I'm just riding your
Okay, you're gonna go
coattails?
first next.
I really
Preston.
would have been. I would have been shocked, honestly, if it was an individual thought. That would have really blown me away.
Okay, Preston, here is your next question. You're gonna go first. Ooh, I have so many of these.
Well, are you going to tell us the answer?
No, I said you're
or-
right. It was from Die Another Day.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna ask each of you different ones. I have so many ready.
Oh, this is exciting. All right,
Oh,
that's
boy.
smart.
Preston, here's yours. One of the virtues of never sleeping. I must live my dreams.
I think that's from this movie.
You are correct. Here's your next one, John.
Oh, me? Okay.
I'm searching through it. Looking for a good one. You have shoes with nimble soles. I have a soul of lead.
That'd be Shakespeare. That would be
It would be Shakespeare.
old
You are
Billy
correct.
Shakes.
Preston, here's the next one. Can I lie in your lap? Reply, no, my lord. I mean, my head on your lap. Yes, my lord. Do you think I meant country matters? I think nothing, my lord. That's a fair thought to lie between maids' legs. What is it, my lord? Nothing.
Hang on.
This is Shakespeare.
I would like to throw a little flag on the play on this one because no fucking way is that in this movie.
The problem I ran into while I was making this game is Shakespeare is very idiosyncratic.
Yeah.
Like, here's your next question, John. Switch it off or I'm gonna be half the girl I used to be.
All right, that would also be Die Another Day.
Oh,
that'd be
damn
Pierce.
it. You guys are really good at this
Somehow.
game. Okay, here's the next one. Preston.
Is this how you guys felt when I did Tomb Truths and a Lie? I didn't realize what it's like to be on the other side of this.
John, I would like to rescind at least a little bit of my
Your vitriol?
criticism for Tomb Truths and a Lie, because that was significantly more fun than
Okay, ready?
this.
Amazing.
I think this is an excuse for me to say all the puns that I wrote down from this movie.
Oh, here we
Okay,
go.
there is that benefit, yes.
Okay, here is... Okay, Preston, is this from Shakespeare or from Die Another Day? You know, I've missed your sparkling personality. So how's that for a punchline?
Absolutely from this movie.
You're incorrect. That was from Hamlet. Okay, next question.
Really?
John.
Damn, that should have been in this movie.
It is in this movie. He's being a goof.
John, here's your next question. Nay, gentle Romeo, we must have you dance. No, not I, believe me. I
All
have a
right.
soul of lead, so stakes me to the ground I cannot move.
Gosh, it's tough to say, Lincoln. It's a tough call. I think I'm going to go No, I'm going to go Shakespeare on that one. Yeah, I'm going to go Shakespeare.
Oh, sorry. Halle Berry says that.
That's Halle Berry. Cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
That sounds like a Jinx line. Is that when she's tied up or the other time she's tied up?
It's the other time she's tied up.
Oh, okay.
Okay, last one. Okay, here it is. Actually, we're going to do last two. Preston, here's your job.
Okay.
My defense mechanism is right here.
This movie.
Correct. Bonus question. Is he talking about a gun or his penis?
I really want to say gun, but somehow I'm not really sure.
You must have a final answer.
3,
Final answer,
2.
gun.
Oh, you are correct.
Dang it. Dang.
John, here's your last one.
Okay.
It was so good of you to bring your gun to bed with us.
Also, this movie.
Damn it! Okay,
Also,
one
not
more.
a pun. Also, Shakespeare didn't have guns, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, shoot. Okay, here's the last one. Both of you can answer this one.
Okay. Ooh, is it a speed round? Lightning round?
Yeah, lightning round. Ready? 2 houses both alike in dignity in fair Verona where we lay our
Shakespeare.
scene.
Shakespeare.
Nope, sorry, James Bond.
I got it first. It's not. It's just not, though.
It's not.
This is a terrible game. This is
Lincoln,
horrible.
You chose a line from the one Shakespeare book that I've ever actually read.
The problem is, I really thought there would be more crossover, but Shakespeare's puns are like so much better in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
Then,
that's... You're saying Shakespeare was a better writer than whoever wrote Die Another Day? That's no way. No
You know,
way.
I don't care
That
who
can't
hears
be
me
true.
say it. I will say Shakespeare's a better writer. While we're
Say
here,
it's not so.
we're just gonna go over the best puns that I remember from the movie, real quick, just to round
good time.
this out. All of these are from the movie. Okay. The line, "Really? I take it Mr. Bond's been explaining his Big Bang Theory," to which the reply was, "Yeah, I think I got the thrust of it." Very good.
Is it? I mean, is it?
I'm a girl that just doesn't like to get tied down. That's pretty good because she's tied down in it, so it's like a joke. I really like, you should be able to shoot through that in a couple of hours. And then he shoots the book, and then he's like, it just took a couple seconds. That's pretty good. Very good pun.
I actually, I don't remember that at all.
Oh, I should have used that one. He has the special car shooting.
That
Oh,
one.
interesting. Were you not the one who watched the movie in its entirety?
I
I
don't
really
know
like-
what to say.
I really like it when
Actually, I could-
Q says,
I could pretty much-
"Two faults, Madonna, that drink and good counsel will amend. Forgive the dry fool drink, then is the fool not dry. Bid the dishonest man mend himself. If he mend, he is no longer dishonest." That's very good. I liked when Q said that.
That was a
I really
funny
liked
moment.
it. Really good, iconic moment
That's a good bit, a classic bit from Bond.
from Bond and Q. My favorite part, the saddest part though, was that James Bond and Jinx both killed each other at the end. They killed themselves because of their star-crossed
Can I say?
love.
That was actually surprising to me. Yeah, that they both, separate from each other, killed themselves to try to save the other. Yeah,
Yeah, it was really sad.
sort of a gift of the Magi thing is the only
Gift of the
sort of
Magi.
story I can relate that to.
I wish there was
But,
I wish there was a story that had more to do with, that was more applicable, but I don't think anyone's ever made one.
No, I don't think so. The closest I can get is a comb and a watch or whatever the fuck that story was about. I think.
Are you
gift of
pretending
the-
that you do not? You got it exactly right, and you're playing it off like,
Is that true?
I don't know. Yeah, it is a comb and a watch. Correct.
I'm really like
John,
basing
you win
that
this game.
on.
That was the secret extra question.
Yay! I win. I won. I love this game. Lincoln, you should always do games. This is great.
Okay, now we have. I think
we?
maybe we had found our funny, and I like, I kicked it underneath a table or something. So
Yeah, we had our funny. I don't know where it went exactly, but we had it.
check between the couch cushions to find some funny real quick for me.
I
Nope. I don't see it anywhere.
I think I might have hid some funny in the back of my toilet. I can go check that.
Yeah, go
if
check
you
it.
want.
Oh wait a second. Here's something funny. Bond says, "This is where all the old relics are," and he's old, so it's a joke.
God, the funny just gets further and further. Every day we
Someone
stray
says-
further from the funny.
Someone says "point taken," and then there's a knife, and then he says,
I don't think this is the avenue to find our funny,
Then he
Lincoln. I
says,
don't think quoting
"Where's
more of this
cutting
movie.
edge stuff," and he has a knife again. There's a lot of knife-based / sex-based puns.
Preston, I think we should save him from himself.
They say world peace, unconditional love, and our little friend with the expensive acne. Get it? Because it's like he's got terrible scarring on his face. Let's make a joke about it. She says, I can read your every move, and then Halle Berry stabs a book into her and says, read this, bitch.
That is pretty good.
Okay, we found it. Let's move on.
Found her funny. All right. Well, yeah. What do you guys want to talk about? You guys have anything you want to bring up? Anything specific?
I want to bring up movie number 1.
Okay.
The Korean, war film.
Sure.
I think it is undoubtedly the best of the 4 movies.
That seems fair. Yeah, sure.
I would agree
Yeah,
with that.
I mean, as a Bond movie, it's really bad, but as a movie, it's all right.
No, because that's the problem. Once this movie becomes a Bond movie, it gets significantly worse.
John?
Oh, he died. Where's he going? Does he have a secret? He has a secret extra. Did you find the funny?
Was it in the AC?
The temperature. I'm at a cool, 68 right now.
I am so jealous. It was 80 degrees today outside working. And it's going to get worse.
It was 80.
And it's April, and it's going to get worse.
John, what's the temperature right now where you are?
Well, I'm just going to have to find out, aren't I? Google it the old-fashioned way.
Like our forefathers.
Just like the Lord
this
intended.
isn't helpful. That's in Celsius.
Yeah, give us some English units, please.
Please, this is ridiculous. It's 90
None of that
degrees right
Celsius
now.
bullshit.
It is
90
currently, let's see. It is 9:50 in the morning, and it is 90 degrees.
What humidity?
So, well, let me Google that now. 64%.
While we're talking, oh, that's rough. That's rough.
Yeah, it's a little bit. Anyway, you wanted to talk about the movie that we watched?
Not really.
'Cause that's what we do here.
I'm trying to think of
I
more
know,
to say.
but we have to. Oh, I got stuff. If you guys don't have stuff, I've got lots of stuff. I've got some questions that I wrote down about the invisible car, because that's a thing I'd love to just real quick chat about.
Yeah, let's talk about the invisible car.
Does it being an invisible car somehow make it an inaudible car? Are
No.
there invisible tires? I don't understand how that would work. Wouldn't the snow cover the invisible tires? How does the driving on the snow not make a sound? And finally, tactically speaking, wouldn't all the other cars on the road hit the invisible car unless you just happen to be in some weird ice palace?
Yeah, he really did find driving on a giant flat without real roads is really the only good use case for an invisible car.
It really is. And even then, it's like, yeah, sure, but an invisible suit probably would have done you more good, I bet.
And I actually have an explanation for the snow on the tires. This is not even a joke. This is just literally the explanation. They mentioned that the car is made invisible because it has cameras all around it and it's projecting what it sees on the other side. So it's not transparent.
Which is nothing.
If there's snow on the tires, they're still going to get covered up by the invisible screen on the other side.
What?
I don't think that checks out, Lincoln.
Why not?
That really doesn't. Lincoln, did you watch the movie? Like it's
Yeah.
it's not like there's a
they're
big
screens.
flat
They're not.
screen.
There's not a projector car following the invisible
I'm saying-
car
I'm
and
saying
projecting on the
it's
car.
like
no,
I'm
there
saying
there
it's
is. It's a
displaying
big one. It's a big Mad Max Fury Road style projector car
It's a
where they have a
war
guy
rig.
on a giant line with a projector that he just sort of flows back and forth.
He's puppeteering
Oh,
it.
hang on. I'm kind of into this actually.
Yeah, they have sort of the war boys of projectors. That was probably my favorite part of this movie, is when Immortan Joe came and killed everyone. I like that bit.
When Immortan Joe's like, it's my water now. I will control the power of the sun.
And they're like, bro, it's actually like water's everywhere. You can have some. Do you want some? It's okay.
He's like, what? Is it my water?
Well, that's how he got the water.
No.
He used the space laser to melt the ice palace.
Oh,
and
so that's why
got all of his
that's
water.
why Mad Max is all deserty, because he melted all the ice palace.
Yeah, exactly.
'Cause he
Wait,
melted
think
the
about
ice
this.
palace.
Think about this, guys. Everyone shut up.
Okay.
I texted both of you earlier and said
Mm-hmm.
Mad Max could be a Dune prequel, but
You
for
did.
all you know, Mad Max could be a James Bond sequel, and
It
Pierce
could be a
Brosnan
sequel to Die
could
Another
be
Day.
driving around in his invisible car the whole time.
Oh,
right
wow.
on
And
screen.
we'd never know.
You would
We'd
never,
know.
that Pierce Brosnan isn't driving his invisible car. What is your favorite
No, hold
Mad
on.
Max prequel?
Nope. Well, hopefully Furiosa. But Lincoln, we're not done with this, because I'm into this. Is there any chance that James Bond is Mad Max?
Yeah, he's like, especially because at the end of the
Almost
movie,
none,
he's
right?
like,
Because he's.
I'm so mad. I'm gonna change my name to Max at the end of this
I'm
one.
so
I
fucking
remember he
pissed.
says that.
My name is gonna be Max from here on out. That's how the movie
Yeah.
ends. Is he looks
And-
dead in the camera and he says,
It says, "My
"I'm
name is
so
Mad Max
mad. You might as well call me Max Rockatansky."
No,
that's how mad
no.
I am.
No, John, the fact that his new name is Max has nothing to do with the fact that he's mad. He goes, I am
Oh,
mad.
it's a separate thing.
And also, in addition, my name is Max.
Yeah, he turns to one guy and he's like, "Do you know how fucking pissed I am?" And then it's hard cut to another scene where he's very tranquil and calm, and he goes, "Hey, I've been thinking I might go by Max from here on out. I like Max. It's an interesting name."
And that explains why in the first Mad Max movie, Mel Gibson walks up and introduces himself. He goes, "Hi, my name's Max. Mad Max."
That makes sense. That's
Is
why
that
it
part
all
of your
happened.
game, or
No, that's
that was
perfect.
Shakespeare.
That makes total sense. Is that so? Then tell me about why he goes to Australia. Is he like on mission in Australia to
He heard
Be
that
like a
Charlize Theron
road
was going to be there.
cop? See, now here's the thing, Lincoln. You're making yourself a mistake, and you're limiting your options here to Fury Road.
Ah.
I think it's time to expand, broaden our horizons.
He heard that there was going to be that one
That
cool
random Australian lady.
who's that guy with the little guy on a leash? His name is like
Well, see.
like big boy or something. What's his name?
Yeah, it's something like that. It's like Big Nasty Greg or whatever.
Big Chungus or like big
Oh,
kid or
you're
like,
right. It's Lord Humongous.
Oh, it's so close.
there we go. I'm glad we got there, guys.
I can't believe you were closer with Big Chungus. That's my favorite angry Ted character is Big Chungus.
That's also my favorite Pierce Brosnan role when he turns to the camera and goes, "My name is Chungus." Big Chungus.
Big large Chungus. I like when Angriosa shows up in that movie. That's probably that's a cool bit.
Angry. Angry. She's not as mad. She's not as emotional as Furiosa. She's getting angry. Someone keeps leaving out their fucking orange juice, not putting it back in the fridge. And now I am Angriosa.
I like the idea that
Someone keeps spilling their goddamn Cheerios all over the counter. And I do not want to deal with this shit in the morning. Fuck you, Max.
please, just
I get that you're
restart.
mad.
Just rewind. Be kind. Rewind. I'm Angriosa.
I'm so
Fuck you.
Angriosa right now. Just leave me alone. I gotta go on a drive.
I just want to have a rational, healthy response to this anger.
And I want a clean goddamn counter.
Everybody's always putting their homework on this fucking counter. I'm Angriosa. It's me. Do your math work. Take it away. Put it in your backpack, you little shits.
Don't you know what the coasters are for? I'm sick of these fucking lines. These fucking circles all over my end table.
Why do you think I cover all my couches in plastic? Because you people
I'm
are fucking
Angriosa.
animals. It's me, Angriosa.
I am still played by Anya Taylor-Joy. Funny's back. We found her.
Hey, Funny. Welcome.
Welcome. You can sit right next to me, Funny. Too bad you have literally nothing to do with this movie.
It's a shame you're not applicable here. Can we talk about the surfing scene?
Yes, we can talk about the surfing scene. Surf's Up 3.
I want to talk about the
sequel to
surfing
Surf's
scene.
Up 2.
I think we have to. Like, what?
Are you talking about Surf's Up 3, the sequel to Surf's Up 2?
I'm talking about Surf's Up 3, the sequel to Surf's Up 2, or also Soul Surfer 2, the
Stealth
sequel
Surfer.
to original Soul Surfer.
Soul Surfer 2,
Still surfing.
Stealth Surfer.
Soul Surfer 2, the squeakquel. I want to talk about it. I think it's important.
Two Soul, two Surfer.
It's the
Okay,
worst.
I'm done.
It's the worst thing they've done, right? Like that's the worst effect, worst visual effect ever put to screen. It seems like to me.
Yeah,
I
it's
might
really
stake my
bad.
claim on that.
It is. I think this and Daredevil, the Ben Affleck Daredevil, they both came out really close to each other in time, and I think they both suffered from. I'm willing to bet there was a cut of both of those movies with way less CGI, and then Spider-Man 1 came out and rocked everyone's world, and the studios were like, we need to put more CGI in this. So there's just both
That
movies have
makes
this like
sense.
deluge of unnecessary, crappy, like animated humans trying to do stunt.
Oh yeah, because there's that terrible when Jinx falls off the like cliff. There's
Yeah.
that really, really horrible rubbery CGI Halle Berry.
Uh-huh. You know what I mean?
That actually makes a lot of sense. I get that. You guys ever fear that the CGI in Spider-Man is bad?
No, it holds
just
up.
don't
It's
know
still.
it?
There's a couple rough moments at the
Still
very
good?
beginning of the movie when he's in his homemade costume. It's not great. When he's in his real
Well,
Spider-Man
that makes sense.
costume,
You'd spend less time on
it's
that
fine.
model.
Yeah. But for the most part, it works really well.
Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear it.
What is this movie? Is so nothing. It is everything, and it is nothing.
It really is. It's such a beautiful little. It's like there's so many things that I feel like have to be talked about, and also so much just kind of bland nonsense in between those things that I forget about what's important.
It's not
Like,
even
I
like a
wrote-
funny bad Bond movie.
No.
Like it just doesn't like all the points that are usually like quirky, funny Bond, it's just bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like his whole exchange with Q, with the exception of the car. Like that whole exchange is usually really funny and quippy and entertaining, and this one it's not.
Well, it's
just
it's
bland
not-
so
and just falls
soulless.
flat on its face.
Like they're just going through the motions that whole time.
Yeah.
And really, honestly, Judi Dench is the only one in the whole movie that seems like she gives a single shit for the script.
Okay, that actually, this is one thing that I wanted to talk about. I think this is a sticking point for me in life. I think Pierce Brosnan is a fantastic Bond in very specific moments. And I think when he he gets exactly one of these moments in this movie. But when he shines is when he's doing just big, brazen, dumb shit with a smile on his face. And I think that is intrinsic to Bond, and also I think that he plays it better than maybe any other Bond has. And he has one of those moments in this.
What is
and
that
it's
one
in-
moment?
It's in the very early airboat, like, hovercraft chase. He's standing on top of it. He's, like, sent it forward. It's about to launch into the other one and flip over it. And he's just standing on top of it, getting ready for a fist fight. And he is peak. He's killing it. Like, it's such a good, tiny little shimmering moment that I was watching this movie and I went, was I wrong? Like, was this just a fun, good Bond movie? Do I like this? He has a moment like that in all of the other Pierce Brosnan movies. And also, to be fair, those movies are markedly better than this one is. But, like, I think that he really is... He's a good, solid Bond in that moment. And then after that, the character that they're trying to portray is just one that he doesn't really have in him, I don't think. Like, he's supposed to be kind of beaten down. And I just don't I don't think Pierce Brosnan really has that in him. Like, he's too happy and fun.
Let me, I'm going to pitch a movie. We always eventually get to the point where we're just pitching different movies. Not this exact script, but maybe this story set in the 60s.
Okay.
With Pierce Brosnan, with all the same camp, but it's all like hyper glamorized. We don't even have the North Korea capture sequence. We don't have the sequence at the end. We cut off the first 15 minutes and the last 15 minutes. It's just Bond, fencing, ice palace, done. I think Pierce Brosnan would like shine so much in that movie.
I think that would be amazing. A movie where he can just be at the top of his game, just playing around, doing fun stuff, making dumb choices.
Like the George Clooney Batman.
Yeah, I think that would be great. Absolutely. I don't even have anything to add to that. So let's talk about sword fight. Yeah, okay, there we go. I knew there was something else we hadn't talked about. Preston, any thoughts on sword fight?
I would make an argument that this is another great Pierce Brosnan-y. Like, the fight is actually very fun and very, like, ridiculous in a lot of ways, but also very believable to who Bond is. Just, like, throwing off the jacket and just going for it.
Yeah,
I think the choreography is actually fairly well done, and it's actually an interesting fight to watch.
Actually, I love how much of the space they use as they fight. Like, it's so satisfying to see them crash into walls and crash into, like, windows and stuff and try to, like, make it off of balconies. Like, literally none of that geography is established before this, so it's not, like, a payoff or anything, but it is fun. It's fun to watch him.
No, geography means nothing in this movie, and we'll talk about that with the Ice Palace, or maybe we won't, but... No, I agree. I actually, Preston, I think that's a good point. I think that this is another good example of Brosnan being, like, solid in what he's doing. I do say I wish that it was shot a little bit more interesting, a little bit less just kind of flat, boring shots. Like, the choreography is good and fun, and he does cool flips and weird little jumps and falls off of stuff and into stuff, and I love that. But I wish it wasn't shot like a Garfield cartoon is drawn. That would be nice.
I mean, it's still not a great fight. It's very flat and two-dimensional, but at the same time, it is, I don't know, maybe the highlight of the movie.
Yeah, in terms of what this movie is bringing to us, it's pretty sweet.
Yeah, it might be. That or Halle Berry straight up calling Pierce Brosnan a predator, and then he's just like, "Yep, yes I am," and Halle's like,
"Correct."
Okay, well, I guess I'm into that. I do really like, there's the scene in Cuba where they're on a rooftop and you see they exposed for the city in the background, where you can see the, like, super bright, like, almost like hurt your eyes brightness of the city, but you can still perfectly see the people inside. I was like, you guys did a good job. You used your exposure latitude really well.
Do you think that was an accident?
Probably, yeah. Yeah. I think
based on this movie.
I think they were really surprised when it was visible, when the scene was visible at the end of the process.
They're like, "Oh dang, you can see everything we shot. That's cool."
Oh shit, that's so cool. I don't feel Angriosa anymore.
Guys, we did it.
I do really like when James Bond is sneaking into the DNA lab and he sees a security camera and he just walks up and unplugs it. You're like, I didn't know that you could just do that. You could just unplug them.
He breathes in and he unplugs and then he's like, "Okay, cool, we're good. That's great. It's
okay,
a Sony
fine.
camera. I like that."
And I love imagining.
I appreciate the when he unplugs it. That's my favorite.
Satisfying technology sound.
So we know it's good.
I think the line.
We know we're good.
The line, one of the virtues of never sleeping is I have to live my dreams, is better than the whole entire rest of the whole movie.
So good.
That's like a weirdly, like, really hard line. Like, that's really cool.
Preston, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
But just because I know that one of us hadn't seen this part, and who knows who it is. But if you were to take a guess, what would your critiques be for the ice climbing moments? There's a couple of moments in it. What are your critiques for that?
Preston's climbing corner.
Were there actual ice climbing moments?
Preston, of course there were. You saw it, so tell us about it. Don't look it up right now, Preston.
Don't look it
This
up.
is not what I'm
Straight
looking
off the
for
cuff,
from you.
come on,
This is not the
Preston.
content I want. You can't scrub through the whole movie, Preston. Just tell me about the ice climbing.
There's no ice climbing in this movie.
There's some ice climbing, Lincoln. Is there some ice climbing?
I remember him being on an ice cliff, and I remember him being back up, but I do not remember the process that ambulated him from the cliff to the surface.
It's not so much that he's back up, but that he ends up surfing after that.
Oh
Preston,
yeah, that's surfing.
This is you're missing what I want here. This is we're not. Our communication is so low at this moment.
Okay, John, you've led him into the garden. Just tell him what's there. He doesn't see it.
Just tell us about the ice climbing. I just want you to just make some shit up about the
Well, I
ice climbing.
can't tell you about the ice climbing if I
Make
can't.
some shit up about Preston. Make some shit up about the ice climbing. I can't be more clear about this. What did you think?
It
Go.
was probably really shitty movie ice climbing.
Fine. Do you?
Oh, here we go. Oh, hang on. Icy. He's
Is
in
that
the
what
rocket
you
car.
wanted, John?
Okay, hang on.
Fuck you. Is
didn't
that what
realize-
you wanted?
I didn't
I think Preston is
realize.
acriosa now.
All right, let's see.
I
Let's
didn't
see
realize
how
I was
this is.
asking such high for Preston to
No,
contribute
hey,
and say
you shut
anything.
the fuck up. You wanted my feedback, and now you're gonna get my feedback.
He's
You've dug
reviewing
this
the
hole.
tapes.
Now you get to lie.
Now
in
go
it.
sit in the
You're right.
corner and think about what you've done, John. Are you happy?
I'm sorry for trying to include you.
Guys, there's no ice climbing. He doesn't climb up the ice.
He just holds
Well,
on to it
not
for a
up it,
He
but
gets
second.
a parachute and part
He's
of his
on
little
it.
rocket car, and then
What do you think of
surfs
that?
down the
Give me any.
tsunami.
What are your
There's no ice
thoughts
climbing.
on that? Should you do that? Is that doable?
You know,
Oh my god.
I think somehow this might be better than the first surfing scene.
Are you
In
also
sort of
a
a
surfing
weird-
expert?
No, I'm going purely on
just-
entertainment value.
Just straight off the cuffs.
Yeah, straight off the cuff.
Yeah, this is just all off the top of the dome. Definitely didn't take us 20 full business minutes to get here.
Yeah, I think this surfing movie, Point Break with a 3 instead of the E, I think is definitely the best surfing scene in the movie for sure.
Point Pathriak.
That being said, I do believe that there is a singular member of this group who has surfed, and as such, I would very much like to hear that person's opinion on the surfing in this movie.
Yeah.
And the realism.
Oh yeah, it's
John, tell
as
us.
a big surf head myself, as a wave boy, as we call ourselves wave boys.
Children of the vibe is what I think.
Children of the vibe. As an
Students
apostle
of the curl.
of the wave. As a hanger of 10 myself, I think that the surfing on this was pretty solid. I would say the first is more reasonable than the second, which obviously I don't know how tactical the surfing is. I don't know how tactical surfing is just as an option, I guess is what I'm trying to say. To me, it doesn't seem like what you'd probably want to do to get into anything, but hey, you know, that's to me, it's more about peace and feeling the motion of the ocean, if you know what I'm talking about.
Wait, actually,
I'm talking about the actual motion of the actual ocean.
you're right, John, because waves don't like peak enough to surf on them until they're pretty close to the shore. So like
Right, yeah.
they had to
Yeah,
drive
or it's
the boat
really rough,
close enough that you could catch
choppy
a wave,
waters.
but they didn't want to just
Or
go.
again, maybe it's like a motorized surfboard, a thing that, of course, we in the community call the Judas of surfboards. But yeah, maybe it's one of those. Maybe it's got like a little wave, a little motor, little fan. I don't know how any of that works.
Yeah.
I wrote a note, and I think that this is a good note, unless you guys have anything else to kind of end our film discussion on.
We don't.
I wish there was an action movie where the only action was people just constantly getting clotheslined. I think that there's something there that would be really fun. Just with like different stuff and different, you know, Like sometimes it's a wire, sometimes it's
This
like
is
actual
so powerful.
clothesline.
This is so good. Sometimes
Yeah,
when
it's
someone's
really-
arm
it's
is
good,
stuck
right?
out.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like it's got to be like we got to get like John
this like
Cena.
Is it in the Nice Guys
like
verse?
a Monty Python-esque skit of people
No,
just
see-
sort of walking down the street and then bam, clothesline.
No, see, this is the thing. I want it to be taken as seriously as, say, a John Wick, but everyone, the only thing that ever
Dong.
happens to anyone, no
Dong.
punches are thrown, no bullets
I need a
fired.
clothesline.
Everyone
Lots
has,
of clothesline.
We need string.
Everyone-
We need pins.
Everyone has a gun is important to me, but they never get a chance to fire it off because they all get clotheslined.
At the very end of the movie, someone finally fires a gun, and the gun shoots a string, and it goes to the
Yeah,
other
it's a
side
grapple
of the room
gun.
and clothesline someone.
I think I would like to see John Wick fire a clothesline into a wall, do the Wick flick, reload, and then immediately clothesline another dude. You know what? I'm into this.
Actually,
I'm into
Yeah, it'd
John,
be
you know
good,
what would be
right?
the best? The whole movie is super serious, and then they'll have one insert shot of each character getting clotheslined. They only have one, and they cut to the same one every single time. So it's
But they put like a
it's like-
CGI wig on it if it's like
Yeah.
a lady.
but it's the same shot every single time. It's from the same angle, same background.
Oh, that would be so great in like the third act where there's like 18 people going up against this one guy.
Just going,
It's the same-
going. That's pretty good. This is something I've learned in this movie is that all of the comedy we can somehow muster has to be completely independent of this film.
Yeah, sometimes the comedy comes from the movie, but most of the time it's us just making random nonsense up, and I'm fine with that.
But this might be a first time where literally not a single joke we told was about the movie that we are supposedly criticizing.
That actually might be
I think
true.
I feel like that's a fairly effective criticism of this movie.
I agree. Yeah, wow, we got
Probably
it.
the best criticism we could offer of it.
Can you guys imagine? We're the first people to ever critique this movie. We're the first people to ever say anything bad about Die Another Day.
Yeah,
How does
we're
it feel
brave.
making history?
We are so brave.
We're brave. We
Yeah.
are heroes.
We're brave. We're saviors. Yeah. There I said it. I
Cinematic.
don't care who hears me. We are the saviors of modern filmmaking. And also jazz.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
And
Well, I thought we
and
just...
jazz.
I saw La La Land and I was like, well, I think jazz also needs saving. So since I'm also a blonde white guy, I think I could also save jazz while we're at it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't see why not.
Okay, sweet. So we're on board with saving jazz. We're on board with saving film. Preston, is there anything you
I
want
mean,
to
I
save?
don't.
No.
Okay, well.
Oh wow, okay, all right. What a fucking raghead. Preston doesn't want to save anything. Preston is good with the way everything is right now. He doesn't want to
He's
save
fine.
shit.
Preston is not going to vote in the
What do you
upcoming
fucking want from
presidential
me?
election.
what a Dennis the Menace type Preston is. Just like, no, I like shit to be kind of rough
Some
all the
men
time.
just want to watch the world burn. What can I say?
And some
Yeah, I've
men
always
wish-
thought of you as a real
some men
joker.
think about the world burning, but they're too comfortable in bed, so they don't want to get up and check.
I mean, if I can put this in there, I think that we should probably include gender equality. I'd like to fix that.
Oh, great.
Make that
yeah.
just sort of happen.
I did
As a
make
man,
kind of a
as
sexist
a
joke
man without
earlier.
hair, I think that's important.
Yeah. So yeah, that helps atone for my joke I made earlier. So that's good. So we fixed film. We saved film. We saved jazz. We saved gender equality from existing.
Yep.
Oh shoot! No, wait,
Wait, Lincoln, no.
Preston, come on. Do you want to save
You
something?
fucked us.
Preston doesn't want to save shit. Do you guys want to do cinematic equivalent? Preston is never going to save anything.
Yeah.
This is the cinematic
Um,
equivalent of holding in a fart for too long and it goes away.
But it kind of hurts after.
It kind of hurts. Yeah.
I think this is the cinematic equivalent of making an extremely delicious meal and then getting a call from your friend that's like, hey, we have to go right now. We're at the hospital. And so you just can't eat your meal. So, like, it could have been so good. But it's not.
Yeah, but it's not. This movie is equivalent to watching a Netflix comedy special with subtitles on, and you pause it every 5 seconds because you keep forgetting something. I'm trying to think. I just started a sentence and no idea where I was going to go.
That sounds... So this is the cinematic equivalent of that, I think.
Yes, it is. This is the cinematic... This is actually applies to the movie, too. This is the cinematic equivalent of the first generation of VR, where for about 8 seconds you're like, whoa, the Digiverse. And then you're like, this is terrible. It's like the Google Cardboard of James Bond movies.
The Google Cardboard of James Bond.
This movie is the cinematic equivalent of looking for a movie to watch, seeing a...
We
the
all started
cinematic
at the
equivalent
same
of
time.
looking for a movie to watch, seeing one that looks like it has a cool poster and a cool name, and then you watch it and it is so profoundly mediocre.
I don't think that's like a cinematic equivalent, Preston. I think that's just this. That is this movie. Like
The experience we
there's not
had.
an analogy there. That's
Yeah,
just,
no, actually, I like that. Preston, this is also the cinematic equivalent of watching a Bond movie, but it turns out it's actually kind of dog shit.
Okay.
This
This is the cinematic equivalent of just a damp paper towel.
that's pretty good. Yeah, and you have
Yeah.
to touch it.
Yeah, you gotta like put it on your face, but not for long enough that it becomes comfortable.
Oh yeah. This is the cinematic equivalent to trying to melt an ant or a stick with a magnifying glass, and you can't get the focus right, and all you do is hurt your own eyes from the light reflecting off the concrete.
This is the cinematic equivalent of seeing a carrot cake that's a little bit too large for your, stomach, and someone forces you to eat every bite of it,
That's a
or
good
they'll
one.
shoot you directly
I
in the
like
head.
that one.
Specifically a carrot cake?
Yes.
Yeah, actually, I don't know why, but yes.
This is the cinematic. This is a Preston style cinematic equivalent. This is the cinematic equivalent to seeing lots of actors that you really thought you liked and saying, "Do I like them? Are they
Do
good?
I never?"
Have they been bad this whole time?"
No, that's just this movie.
Oh, shoot! Sorry. Should have realized there's a difference. Okay,
I'm sure we found
this
it
is the
somewhere in there.
This movie. Hang on, I got one more.
Oh,
this
good.
movie is the cinematic equivalent of frying chicken, but it never quite gets crispy, and it just gets really soggy and
Ooh.
yeah,
not
that's
good.
good. That's good.
Oh, Preston, that is it.
So, John, is that enough equivalents for you to string together maybe 2 or 3 great ones?
Yeah, I think we got one really solid one, and then some other.
Some other ones?
Yeah. So thank you for listening to the Motion Picture Retribution Power Hour. This has been a blast. Do we have?
Hey, what movie are we watching next?
Yeah. Do we have another movie? It's Lincoln's turn, right?
Yeah, it's my turn. So I was waiting to seg into this. Okay.
Okay. Hold on. Let me seg you up. I'm
Seg me up.
gonna get you segged.
Yeah. Seg me.
I'm so
Ready
sorry
for
I
some
said
sexy
that.
time.
Actually, Lincoln, I don't want that to be a thing I said, but I did.
You did. You did.
All right.
Everyone knows how much I love segs. Okay, we're done.
hold on,
Let's keep going. Don't put all your
I got-
segs in
hey,
one
it's-
basket.
Oh, that's good. I gotta find a healthy one. So let me just. Oh wow, what a good time we're having with this podcast. If only we
Oh,
could
boy.
keep it going forever,
Yippee.
and also at least another hour, maybe next week or so, a couple of weeks from now.
Wow, that was an apropos thing that criticizes this movie, and also it was really funny as well.
Oh, thank you, Lincoln.
Yeah, I love this podcast. We're so good at it.
Yeah, and also that was your segue. Do you want to take it or?
Yeah, here's my segue.
If only we could keep the podcast going. I said.
Oh
And
boy, howdy! I sure do know how to keep this podcast going. Oh,
You
jeez.
do?
Golly gee willikers! I have another movie for you to watch.
I don't like this. What is it? What are we watching?
Okay, at some other time, in some slightly different, but not as different as we wished podcast, I asked you to watch the movie Dune. And it was spelled D-U-N-E.
I remember that.
And today, on this fateful day, I am going to ask you to watch the movie Doom. D-O-O-M. Starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
I don't think I've ever heard of this.
It is based on the
I
video
saw that
game
coming from a mile away.
Doom.
Oh,
As
no.
soon as you started talking about Dune.
Preston, have you seen this film?
I have not.
Oh,
stars Dwayne
yes,
"The Rock"
neither have
Johnson.
I.
But I'm for some reason I am a little bit excited too.
Yeah, me too.
Let's just check our Rotten Tomatoes score real quick. It's at a healthy 18%.
Oh, that's pretty low. That's a pretty low number. You said it's Doom?
Doom, D-O-O-M. It's based on a video game called
Okay.
Doom. And your homework for both of you is to find some way to play some variation of Doom before or after you watch this movie.
Okay.
There's lots of Doom. They made a lot of Doom games. I'm sure both of you are internet savvy enough to find your way into playing one of them. And all I want you to do is play one for 5-10 minutes. Think about what the vibe is, and then be ready to compare and contrast with the movie.
Perfect. We can do that. Does it count if I'm
Excellent.
not able to find it somehow? Can I watch someone else play it?
I would say that would be okay, but much preferred is trying to find a way to play it. Because also I want to hear about your
Last
journeys
resort.
to try to find a way to not pay for Doom and yet play it.
Okay, that sounds good. Well, then thank you for listening to the Motion Picture Retribution Power Hour. I have been Brother John. Hold on, I'm going to get one. Thank you for bringing your gun to bed last night.
I have been Brother Lincoln. Mr. Kill. Well, there's a name to die for.
And I have been Brother Preston. Read this, bitch.